What's up, Lock 22 Nation? It's your boy GOBO coming at you with another episode of Puck University, hashtag PuckU. With me, as always, the ever faithful Tommy Mitchell. Tommy, how you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Puck U.
So just the duo today. We did away with those pesky guest hockey guests that were discussing various issues with us. But there may be guests in the future. So but we figured today let's just do the pair here. So I brought out my Penguins uni, my Sidney Crosby sweater, and the first time Tom's not wearing a Penguin sweater. So yeah, what the hell, man? I thought we could be
I had to represent the Iowa women in the national championship today.
Oh, that's right. They took down the almighty South Carolina Gamecocks.
Yep, and then they actually lost tonight, but I had to represent, throw out a good word to them.
So what can you say? The Lady Cocks were taken down. But that's basketball, which we're not terribly interested in. But we do have some very interesting stuff coming up. NHL playoffs. Couple of teams got locked in this week. I figured we could kind of talk about the push, and we're going to start out in the East right now. Currently, Penn's holding that last spot, but we're looking at the New York Islanders. They get Barzell back. People are thinking they're going to make a push. Tom, what do you think? Are your Pens in any danger?
I've been talking about it for the last 3 weeks. I mean, they got to hold on to that spot. They got to keep winning. They looked really good against Boston, barely losing that last 2 minutes of the game. So I mean, if they can keep playing that caliber of hockey, but then we go back and they lose to the Red Wings 7-3 or 4 or whatever it was. So they're really up and down right now. They just gotta get that playoff hockey mentality in there to lock in a spot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a pretty wacky wild card race. Wacky wild card. Yeah, that's alliterative. But looking at it, it's like since Barzell's been back, Islanders have shit the bed twice in a row, including a 5-0 shellacking by Tampa Bay. So I mean, I honestly I don't know if they're necessarily better. I think they still got a shot at it, but I still think it's the Pens to lose. So I think that they continue to be if they're continuing to be moderately competitive, I say they hold on to that spot.
Well, the thing that I'm worried about, if you look at the standings for that wild card right now, we got 87 points with the Islanders, 86 with the Penguins, and then 85 with the Panthers. So I mean, there is so many things that can happen in these next couple weeks. I mean, the Panthers, they're not playing bad right now. They could squeeze in there somewhere. I mean, and their strength of the schedule is not, in my opinion, as difficult as the Penguins is.
Yeah. Plus, you got to worry about Buffalo coming up, and then Ottawa's not out of it yet either. That'd be crazy if either of those teams work their way in. But you know what? I still think it's like we've been saying for the last couple of weeks. Our guests have all been saying. I think that the way that it's sitting right now, I don't think there's really going to change. It's really going to change because I mean, what do we got? 2 more weeks of the season.
Yep.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So staying in the East, talking about clinching scenarios, Tampa Bay clinches with their win over the Islanders. Actually, they clinch a playoff berth, and they are now locked into either the 2 or the 3 seed in the Atlantic, which means that Tampa Bay and Toronto will be playing each other in the playoffs, guaranteed. We don't know who the home team is going to be yet, but that is going to be the matchup. So Toronto, Tampa Bay, we have our first set playoff matchup. I'm not going to ask you who you like yet, Tommy, but what are you looking for in this matchup?
Really, Toronto's got all the stars that they have signed before the signing period. I mean, have to show up to play if they have any chance. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Tampa Bay, they're always good in the playoffs. So
Yeah,
Toronto's going to show up if they want to lock their position.
I look at this matchup and I think it's interesting because it's two teams that perpetually underperform in the first round of the playoffs. So it's like, especially where they're favored, So I think that I'm just putting it down right now, soft lock. I might change my mind later. Don't hold me to it. But I say whoever is the higher seed going into this matchup is going to lose it. I say whoever the underdog is,
Okay.
and it's gonna be a blowout, either sweep or a 5-game series. So I think that, yeah, both teams loaded with superstars. Tampa, Vasilevsky, Steven Stamkos. Toronto obviously has Marner. John Tavares. Like, I mean, they got just a whole murderer's row of players. Toronto honestly should be like, it's like it should be like if the NHL had their way, if Gary Bettman were to manufacture a Stanley Cup every year, it would be Toronto and Ottawa. Two Canadian teams loaded with superstars, but without any like actual game theory that goes into the way they play. So, um, I think that, yeah, if a gun to my head, I'd pick Tampa, just because I think that they're a little bit more playoff successful than Toronto has been in the
Yes.
last, decade or so. But I think that both teams have the propensity to kind of shit the bed in the first round. So, but interesting matchup. We'll see now that the matchup is locked in, how hard those teams are going to push the rest of the season. Um, Up next, two teams out of the Pacific Division actually lock in the Vegas Golden Knights and the Edmonton Oilers are both headed to the playoffs. Don't know the seeding yet. Still a little too early to tell, but yeah, the Pacific, pretty much locked in. I think, Seattle's still fighting for a spot. Calgary's making a push for a spot. Um, I don't know. Pacific, I mean, what are these teams do you like? I mean, is there wild card teams coming out of the Pacific as well?
Um, I think, like you said, I think to me, this side of the bracket is more set because, like I said, you're looking at 89 and 90. Then the next one's not until you get down all the way down to the 85th point. So, I mean, with the NHL point system, it's almost out of reach. I mean, you basically have to win all your games and they got to lose all theirs.
Yeah, gaining 5 points in 2 weeks is near impossible. It's not impossible, but it's pretty tough.
But the team that I like out of all of them that hasn't secured locked a spot in, it would be out of the Pacific, and I like we've talked about them a couple of times, but I like the LA Kings just the way they're playing right now. They're just playing
Like,
phenomenal hockey.
Kings are riding a lot of momentum, man. They're a dangerous team. I think that yeah, I think they definitely make the playoffs. I think that they slide into that 3 spot, if not the 2 spot. We'll see what Calgary does, but yeah, if the Kings get bounced somehow, like, yeah, I don't see it happening, but if it happens, they definitely are going to be the top wild card. So, yeah, Kings are going to be a dangerous team. I kind of like them in the first round with who they play, which hopefully is not the Avalanche. But yeah, we'll see what ends up happening. Also Central Division wide open. Gonna wait for my team update to talk about my Avalanche, but we had an opportunity to take first place. Didn't do it. We dropped that game to Minnesota. But we come back strong against Dallas. So Avs are holding on to that second spot, down by 1 point to Minnesota. Anything could happen. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in the Central. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. That was the one division that I was. It's kind of like the East wild card. I mean, you guys are all within a literally a point
Uh-huh.
of each other. So I mean, that could flip so many different ways by the end of the season. The 2 weeks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right. So, playoff mumbo jumbo going around. By our next show, I think we're going to have a few more locks to talk about. So we'll talk about a little bit of personnel stuff. Jonathan Taves has been out with COVID for the last 2 months, comes back in, has the very warm welcome from the Chicago faithful, gets an assist in his first game back, and it doesn't matter. The Blackhawks still lose to the Devils handily. So what does this mean? I mean, does Taves put forth any further effort with the Blackhawks? And if he does he go anywhere else at the end of the season?
With Taves, I think coming back and not having Patrick Kane was probably huge for him. I mean, I think that he probably knows that they are in rebuild mode, and I have a feeling that he's going to do everything he can to be moved. He's not. I mean, I don't really know off the top of my head how old he is, but I mean, he's been in the league a while, so he's going to be looking to. He's not going to be looking to rebuild. He wants to win playoffs.
Mm-hmm. So I have two trains of thought, and I honestly I didn't look it up before the show, but he's not on a contract year, is he? He's not a free agent at the end of the season?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so if he was gonna, I would say if Taves is a free agent at the end of the year, I say you're right. I say that he goes absolutely anywhere else, takes a team friendly deal to go play for Vegas or Boston or or the Rangers, reunite with Kane with the Rangers. Like I would say that yeah, he goes to try to go to a competitive team and make his presence felt. The problem is that he's kind of a second tier forward at this point. Like, I mean, at this point, after sustaining all those injuries, I mean, he's a team friendly guy. He's a good captain. He's got championship experience. But if he's looking to stay in the dance, it's like, yeah, he's not going to do it with Chicago. But here on the inverse, since he's still on a contract, I don't see anybody trading for that contract.
So I actually just looked it up, and
Okay.
he is a UFA at the end of this season.
Okay. So that
And he
makes
is
things more
35.
interesting.
So, like I said, he's gonna be wanting to go to a playoff ready team, and he will be a free agent.
Yep. So look for Taves in. I mean, if you look at teams that need strong leadership, you look at teams like Vegas, teams like Dallas, teams like Minnesota. I mean, yeah, you got a couple of really good competitive teams that he could really land at, and make his push. And yeah, I mean, God forbid, I don't know how they could afford him, but yeah, I mean, even Boston, just adding on to the years of experience, to the amount of cups that team has won, just with the personnel that have won that are on that team now. So yeah, I definitely I would say yeah, UFA Taves is out of Chicago next season.
Yeah, we won't see him. We won't see him in Chicago. That's for sure.
Yep. Okay. So let's talk about something fun. We're always serious, always talking about hockey and the competitive nature of the game. The NHL declared in an agreement with Tops that April 15th is going to be International Hockey Card Collectors Day. So, that being said, I've never been a huge fan of hockey cards, but I wanted to talk about, as you can see around me, or if you've watched any of my other content on my channel or on Project Nerd or the other Lock 22 productions, you know that I like to collect a lot of random shit. So I wanted to see, Tommy, what do you collect? As far as let's keep it to hockey related. But yeah, do you have any cool hockey merchandise or things that you like to collect and display?
Well, so I know you don't, as the viewers don't know a lot about me, but I actually have three boys. So they actually really like hockey. And we have been going around and they like to collect hockey pucks of all sorts. The my oldest one is 10 and he's a Jersey fan now, as in hockey jerseys, like you. So he got his first jersey. It's a Sabres jersey. I'm not gonna fault him for that, but we'll have to get him some more some more memorability to put in his arsenal there.
Hey,
Younger one, he's a Devils fan. I don't know where he got that from, but maybe James had some influence on that. Um, but we've recently started collecting the hockey games for Xbox and stuff like that, so they play those. Other than that, as you can see, my hat, I got a wild hat on. So we just collect all sorts of garb
right
for our
on.
year.
Yeah, yeah. No, and I'll try to send Dames a picture. Maybe he can link it in the bio. But I have a whole corner around my bar in my basement that's dedicated to sports memorabilia. And I have a Packers wall and I have an Avalanche wall. So I have yeah, signed stuff, action figures of the team, random things that we've got at the stadium, like little hangers, like we have a couple of the numbers from the number retirement ceremonies. A buddy of mine was there when they hung the last cup, at the opening day when they hung the cup banner, and so I got a miniature cup banner. Um, Pucks, yeah, I got a handful of pucks. I'm a big flea market guy, like flea market garage sales, and so I found a box full of Avalanche pucks. A couple of them were signed at the flea market years ago, so I have a little pyramid of pucks on my bar. And yeah, I definitely collect a lot. It's probably because I do not have three boys. I have one girl who's 6 months old, and so she does not take over the sports part of my life yet, but I'm sure she's gonna end up being a big hockey fan. So we'll see what, God willing, she'll be a big hockey fan. So but yeah, like I said, I got a and then as far as cards, I have a couple of hockey cards. I like the ones that have the jersey patches from the players. Yeah, so I got a couple of those. I have David Avisher, I have a Forsberg, I have I don't think a Sack. I think I have a Landeskog jersey swatch card, but I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like I said, spent way too much money and time and effort on collecting shit over the years. So
If
so
you that's what matters.
I know, you know what? At the end of the day, hopefully somebody would be interested in buying it if I ever got into trouble. But as of right now, it's all mine. Also, I have jerseys. I think there's only like two teams. I have like probably 9 Avalanche jerseys, but I think there's only 3 team jerseys that you guys haven't seen yet. Because I have a Blues jersey, I have a Flyers jersey, and I have a Kings jersey.
Yeah,
So
thanks for not wearing the Flyers jersey.
hey, you guys won. I was said I'd wear the team that won. So I was like, okay, cool. So and we'll see. Hopefully I can wear one of my winning picks next week as well. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But I do love jerseys, hockey, football. Don't have many baseball and basketball jerseys, but yeah, football and hockey, those are my sports. So and I love jerseys. I love the aesthetic of sports memorabilia. And I mean, look at this. It's like it's a penguin. Like how like where else can a grown man wear a penguin on his shirt and it be okay?
All right,
So
hockey. That's
yeah,
where.
exactly. So all right, so getting off of the goofiness, hockey card day. Also, fans, viewers, put down what you collect. Do you have a cool collectible, something signed by your favorite hockey player? Throw down a comment in the comment section. You'll get a shout out on our next episode of Puck Hue. All right, moving along. Team updates. Tom, I'm going to let you talk about your Penguins. What do you got for me?
Yeah, they played decent. Like I said, they're holding their own. We got, like I said, we got played Boston well. Um, got to keep playing that level of hockey through these last. I'm pretty sure it's 2 full weeks of games. I think they have 6 or 7 left. I mean, we got to win at least half of them. I was gonna look. I know that they got. I'm pretty sure they play the Wild again.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
a big game. I'm rooting for you guys.
yeah, that's gonna be a tough game. We got. I mean, we got a couple more good ones, but we got. I think it's 3 or 4 that I think we can win, and we need to win, and we'll be all right.
Okay, okay. Tom feeling optimistic about his waddling Antarctic friends coming out of Pittsburgh. All right. Avalanche, what you guys actually came to hear about. 1 point behind Minnesota, like I mentioned before. We blew that game on Wednesday, but we went 2-1 on the week. Floored Anaheim, which is great. I hate the Anaheim Ducks. I don't know for what reason. They're a dirty team and they always like play us hard, and I don't like them. But yeah, and then we beat Dallas 5-2. Really good game. All the we're kind of what I like about this Avs team is we're starting to click late. The people are coming off of injury and we're starting to play really good. We just have to learn. We just got to play a little bit better, do a little bit more pushing in those big games. Guys like Philip Gustafson are going to be really tough in the playoffs. So I mean, it's like you gotta keep moving forward. The Avs, I feel really good. I mean, we went 2-1 last week. I feel really good about this upcoming week. We're on a 4-game road trip, all 4 games in California. We play the Sharks at the SAP Center twice in a row, which blows my mind. I've never seen a back-to-back where it's at the same stadium. So we play the Sharks twice, then we're at the Staples Center, play the LA Kings. Maybe the only game we lose on this road trip, and then we're back in Anaheim playing the Ducks again. So Sharks, Kings, Ducks. I'd say we're 4-0, 3-1 guaranteed this next week. We'd really have to fall apart to drop any of those games to San Jose. So I feel good. Minnesota's got some tough games coming up, including one against Pittsburgh. I know it's at Minnesota, but I think that the Penguins could really give them hell. So, like I said, I'm rooting for you. I'm rocking the angry bird on my sweater today. So let's get it done there, Pens. Um, all right, team updates. Let's go into the fun part. Tom, did you check your picks from last week?
Yeah, I did terrible.
You did terrible. And I did not terrible. So coming in, you've been maintaining this lead on me the whole season. Our records sit Gobo 9-6, Tom 9-6.
There we go.
We are tied, my friend. With 2 weeks left in the regular season, this is gonna get interesting. I think that we should have some sort of huge bet on who comes out on top at the end of this thing, but we'll see how it goes. But anyways, yeah, I got all 3 right last week. You went 1-2. Let's see here. I wrote them down here. Let's see. Seattle. Bet on Seattle, I guess is the thing is they got some pretty soft matchups in the Pacific, and the Kraken are a pretty good team. They come, especially at home. Also, Ottawa beat Florida, and then of course the Penguins over their in-state rival, the Philadelphia Flyers. Tom, you picked Pittsburgh to beat the Red Wings, which they did not, and you picked the Rangers to beat the Devils, which they also did not, and you picked Edmonton to beat the lowly Ducks, and they did pull that off pretty handily. I think it was that the 7-0 game?
That's 6-0, I believe.
6-0. I was like, one of the games ended at 7-0 this last week, so I was like, so yeah, it was not close. And then of course our good friend JD, aka Jimmy Jam, he went 2-1. His only wrong prediction was my Avalanche to beat the Wild, which we can appreciate, even though you were terribly wrong. He picked Boston to beat Pittsburgh and Tampa Bay to beat the Islanders. Both correct. Well done, Jimmy. Locks of the week. I will get us started. Um, I'm taking looks like we got Chicago at Calgary. Calgary's pushing for a playoff berth. Chicago is basically putting the hot dog and the Make-A-Wish the hot dog vendors and the Make-A-Wish kids on the ice at this point. They got nothing to play for. Calgary's looking for a playoff spot. I say that's an easy win. Calgary in Calgary.
I agree with you on that one. My first pick, you just said it, so I'm gonna do it. Seattle to beat Arizona. At Arizona, don't care. Seattle comes home with a win.
Don't they play each other twice this week?
Sure.
They do?
I can look. Let me look.
Sure. Because I was looking at that game too, and I was like, I don't know. That could get confusing thinking about my stoned ass next week trying to figure out which game I bet on.
They do.
Okay. So which one?
Let's pick the Monday game.
Monday game? All right. Seattle over Arizona on the Monday game. Perfect. All right. Up next. I got my second two picks are they're a little juicier. I think picking against Chicago is a little bit of an easy mode, but this one I thought about a lot, and this goes out to James. New Jersey at Boston. I'm taking the Devils. Wait, I need my other hand free so I can do the Hornets. The Devils. So the reasoning behind Jersey has secured their playoff spot, but they are still fighting for position. Boston is locked into the President's Trophy. They're basically sitting all their starters, still somehow winning, but I think against another playoff caliber team like the Devils, I think they go down even at home. Jersey over Boston, my second lock of the week.
Do you think that play in Jersey? Do you think they'll sit their starters still? Or do you think they're
Yeah.
going for that record still, or is that kind of done?
No, they're still going for the record. They're one of 5 teams ever to get 60 wins in a year. Which is insanity. The Boston is so fucking good. Like it's gonna be so hard picking against them in the playoffs. But yeah. Honestly, I think that Boston's cruising. They took a loss last week against a team that they should have beat. And then they're going to like overtime against teams that they should be running up the score on. So it's like I think Boston's cruising, and I think the Devils are going to take advantage. I don't think it'll be a big win, but I think Devils will get it, maybe in overtime.
Okay. My second lock of the week, you will appreciate this one because I'm taking your Colorado Avalanche to beat the Sharks.
Okay, which game?
That's what I was just looking.
They think they have a Monday and Wednesday.
We'll do Wednesday.
Tuesday and Thursday.
I already did Monday. It's Tuesday, Thursday, so we'll do
Tuesday,
Thursday
Thursday.
game.
All right, so you're taking the Avs in the Thursday game. All right, I like it. I mean, obviously, I like it. Obviously, I think you're right. Sharks are ass. I mean, it's hard to beat a team 2 times in a row, but not the Sharks. Okay, my last pick. The division leading Vegas Golden Knights are hosting the resurgent LA Kings. This could be another one of those really great games of the season, but I like the Kings on the road. I think Vegas is, they're pretty much locked into their spot. Kings are the only team in the pack that's not locked into a playoff spot, that's not in a wild card right now. So I say Kings. Yeah, I think they secure their playoff spot with a win in Vegas.
That'll be a good matchup.
I know it's gonna be a good game. I'm excited to watch it. All right, Tommy Bahama, what do you got? What do you got for the third pick? Oop.
My third pick, I'm actually going to change it.
Okay. Okay.
I was going to do Minnesota playing against the Blues, but we have already said that that's like stealing candy from a kid. I think I'm going to take Tampa Bay at Ottawa, and I'm going to pick Tampa Bay just because what we just discussed. I mean, they're locked into the playoffs now. They just want to improve before the playoffs. So I'm going to pick Tampa Bay to win that game.
Okay. That's going to be a better matchup than people think. Ottawa's a hungry team. They're just, they're just not very good. So I think that if Ottawa really had some talent, I think they got good coaching there. So I mean, yeah, they could steal that game, but yeah, I agree. I think Tampa will take it. Okay. Got our locks. We're tied at 9-6. It's gonna be interesting coming down the pike here. So let's talk about our top players of the week, and then we can get on out of here. So who's your first top player of the week?
Yeah, my third star. I had a really hard time this week picking the order, but my third star, I'm sure you'll agree with me on this one. I mean, he warrants it all. He's playing remarkable. Gustafsson from Minnesota. I mean, just lights out goaltender. They're winning games like crazy, and it's mostly because of him.
I wrote down Gustafson and then I crossed it out because I can't support the Wild. Can't do it. I hate them.
I'll do it for you.
But he's yes, you're correct. He's been lights out. I mean, what has he got, like 4 wins in a row? Like, yeah, he's killing it right now. Dude's a great goalie. He unseated Fleury, and he's gonna be their starter going into the playoffs. So I mean, yeah, we'll see what Minnesota does. I kind of don't want to play him, but I think the Avs are still better. But yeah, he's great. My first star, Victor Arvidsson, for the Kings, back-to-back 2-goal games. Dude performs. He's totally consistent on a team that has a lot of power, for a second or third line winger, coming in there and getting back-to-back 2-goal games like that is pretty impressive. So the Aardvark, that's what I'm calling him.
My second star, I picked him last week, and he had another stellar week this week. Nick Suzuki.
Nick Suzuki, god damn it, you stole mine.
I have my other one, so
I have Suzuki as. Oh, you had Arvidsson at 1 too.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah,
We'll just swap.
Look at us. Yeah, so Suzuki, yeah, 4-point performance against Columbus, 3 apples. I love it. I'm a team guy, so you rack up a bunch of assists, you're gonna get on my list.
I agree, and I think, like I said, it's a team that we don't talk about very much. And I mean, they got a lot to look forward in this kid, and I think that they're going to have some good seasons coming up if they can just build around him. He's 23 years old, for Pete's sake. I mean, they've got a lot of these guys are playing until they're 30, 35. They got 10 years with this guy to build around him. I mean,
I always thought it was crazy how long some of these hockey players can play with the amount of contact, because you think about like football players, like the only players that can play into their 40s are like quarterbacks and kickers. Like that's it. Like you're done. If you're a running back, you're done by 35.
Oh, and the lineman's worse. I mean, if you're a lineman, you're done by 32, 33, 35.
If that, yeah, usually it's like 29.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's just like it's a rough game, but like yeah, these hockey players, they play forever, man. I mean, like Jaromir Jagr. Excuse me. So upset this makes me. He's 57 years old, and he still plays professional hockey.
Yeah.
Not in the NHL, but he's still in a professional league somewhere playing. It's like, dude, let it go. Right. Anyways, 57 years old.
What makes hockey so fun, though, is you get these guys, they don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
They're just they want to play so much that they'll stick around for as long as they can.
Yeah, exactly. So, my first star, I know you have Arvidsson. We kind of talked about him, but I'm picking 5 different players On Saturday, we had an NHL first. On Saturday, they had 5 different players all score hat tricks in their games in
I
one
heard
day.
there's a lot of them.
Yeah. So number one, Carter Verhage for Florida, Pasternak for Boston, Noah Gregor for the Sharks. Good on him for the Sharks getting a hattie. Leon Draisaitl, who, whatever. And then Alex Tuck for the Buffalo Sabres. So 5 guys got hat tricks in one day.
Yeah, and do you know who Boston got the hat trick against?
Was it the Penguins?
It sure was.
No. Well, can't win them all, kid. So yeah, five hat tricks in one day. Crazy stuff. I mean, we're getting into the meat of the season where it's that awesome pre-playoff push where you got another alliterative statement from me this evening. Where you got these guys are playing lights out, guys are fighting for new contracts, guys are fighting to get traded to a better team. Noah Gregor, whoever you are, we're gonna see some great hockey. So, and then like we said, yeah, like if nothing else, we got the LA Vegas matchup this next week. I mean, it's gonna be a playoff atmosphere. It was a playoff atmosphere in the Colorado Minnesota game, even though we came up short. We got some great hockey coming up. Tom, are you excited for anything else coming up this week?
Oh yeah, I was looking there. I mean, there's a couple. Vegas that you said. Minnesota has a couple good games to play yet. I mean, just the wind down to the wind up. I mean, it's just going to be teams are still looking for their playoff spots, clinching the higher seeds. You're going to see teams on the bubble going for that. We've talked about the wild card, especially in the East. I mean, that's still up for grabs. Essentially, you got 3 or 4 teams vying for 2 spots, and they're just gearing up for playoffs. I mean, we're going to be seeing some physical, hard hockey.
I love it. Physical hockey, and you know what? We're gonna be in our recliners enjoying all of these European and Canadian guys beating the hell out of each other. Anyways, that is our show for the evening. For my co-host, Mr. Tom Mitchell, my name's Gobo, and this is Puck University, #PuckU on the Fabulous Lock 22 network. Make sure to check out Two Marks and a Spark. They got their WrestleMania episode coming up. I bet that's going to be a big winner. Also, Comic Knowledge coming up. Got a lot of great stuff. Tom, anything else for the people?
Just excited for the playoffs. Join us in a couple weeks for the playoff hockey.
Playoffs. All right. Good night, everybody.